and thank you for joining me today. For everybody that's possibly new, this is Freight Master Resources, where we provide tips, tools, resources, industry news to help you grow and be more successful as a truck driver, carrier, freight agent, freight broker, right? Everything in our industry. So that being said, don't forget to check out my recommended tools and services in the description below. Some really great companies that I use regularly that I highly recommend. And I guess without any further ado, we'll get into it. I do want to, another quick note, I do want to apologize for not doing a video the last couple of days. I got bombarded with last minute meetings and everything, and it kind of came out of the blue, right? And doing what we do in this industry, you can't really say no or put it off till tomorrow. It has to happen, right? So I do apologize for that, but we're back, and we're going to jump into it. There was a lot of things that I've been wanting to kind of talk about, but this is one of them. Illinois carrier lays off most of its company truck drivers. An Illinois trucking company recently notified most of its company drivers that it could no longer support part of its fleet operations and terminated their positions due to current market conditions. Now, in previous video, we were just talking about how the market was starting to show signs of stabilization, right? So this sort of comes as a shocker, but it might have been too little too late, right? I think for a lot of companies that have been kind of hanging on by a thread, due to the current market, it's just, like I said, maybe a little bit too little too late. Former company driver for Merck's Global Inc. of Elk Grove Village, Illinois, said they were routed to the company's yard after delivering their loads in the Chicago area and were handed termination letters on October 11. Merck's Global is selling outdated equipment from its fleet and will not be replacing with new equipment at this time due to current market conditions, according to a termination letter handed to the affected drivers and obtained by the news organization. Based on these current conditions, we can no longer support part of the fleet operations. The FMCSA's Safer website shows Merck's Global has 246 drivers and 244 power units. However, some former drivers said that the numbers of drivers listed on the carrier's MCS 150 form, which was updated in February, counts both company drivers and owner-operators in the number provided on the FMCSA form. So the exact number of company drivers recently laid off is still unclear. So for those of you brokers that might be working with Merck's or, maybe potentially using them this week, next week, something to keep in mind. A source for Merck's Global, which hauls general freight and hazardous materials, kept on about 20 company drivers who live in the Illinois and the Indiana area to run regional routes for the carrier. One former company driver who hauled hazmat tankers for Merck Global said she was, I lost my spot, said she was unaware that she and most Merck's company drivers were being terminated when she pulled into the company's yard. Now, this is something that I want to ask this question to all of you, especially for those of you that are drivers or fleet owners. It seems to be kind of common practice that when something like this happens, it's shut down. Go home, leave your truck, leave everything right where you're at. That's it. We're done, right? You get a text message or something, or they will call everybody in, unbeknownst to the drivers, and basically hand them a termination notice without any warning. Not really sure how I feel about that. I get that, they probably want to make sure that drivers aren't going to say, well, screw this, and then just leave the truck on the side of the highway, right, with the cargo and everything. On the other hand, I think that it would be a lot better not to leave drivers in the lurch and, more or less kind of give them a heads up that, hey, we're facing a financial crisis here. We're doing the best we can, but we're going to have to pull everybody in for a meeting. At least give them some sort of a warning, even if it's a weak warning, right? That something bad may be happening, because you're talking about people's livelihoods, right? So I'm not real keen on that. I've had it happen to me personally, and literally right at Christmas time, it was like, yep, we're done, we're out, bye bye, wish you the best of luck, right? So yeah, not a real big fan of that. She goes on to say, they found us loads in the Chicago area, then quietly routed us to the terminal, and we were told to go by the yard. The ex-driver, who didn't want to be named for fear of retaliation, said when I got there, I saw a bunch of trucks parked and people with pallets beside their trucks throwing tons of stuff away. That would be probably like, what is going on, right? I've gotten my final paycheck, which includes my PTO, which was nice. The termination letter stated that Merck's would assist with arranging travel for the company drivers who were let go to help them get home, and offered to subsidize part of all their travel costs. So I guess that's some, a bit of a nicety rather than you're on your own. Again, not real happy about it, but earlier this year, Merck's reduced what company drivers were paid from 70 cents per mile to 60 cents, with the promise that it would be bumped up to the higher amount once the freight environment improved. However, that didn't happen. The source said some of these company drivers stayed on with Merck's for 9 or 10 months after their pay was cut, only to be terminated. Another former driver was headed to the airport Monday to start orientation with a new trucking company. Before they did these layoffs, I really didn't have anything bad to say about Merck's. I made money and they kept me moving while I was there, the former driver said. So yeah, kind of a good news, bad news. I mean, was it nice that they helped everybody kind of get home? Yes. Was it kind of crappy for them to sort of, bring everybody back in on the sly and just sort of, you're done, I guess if you're currently hiring drivers, this might be good news for you, because there's going to be drivers out there looking for, obviously for new positions, probably, especially if you're in the, Illinois and Indiana areas. So something to look for there. Yeah, it's again, I've said this before, I'll say it again, I probably won't be the last time I say it, is that, I hate to see anything like this happen, whether it's, on the carrier side of things or the brokerage side of things. Again, you're talking about people's livelihoods, and yeah, it's very unfortunate, but it's something that happens and will probably continue to happen every time we're in a down market. Normally, like I've stated this before, that we hit that kind of ebb and flow about every 3 to 3.5 years. Obviously the pandemic, threw kind of a wrench in those gears, and it's still kind of reverberating through the industry, unfortunately. But we are starting to see signs of improvement. Again, too little too late for some, unfortunately. And, maybe they can bounce back from this, as things start to improve, and maybe by downsizing the way that they have, or they're doing, selling off some of their older equipment, maybe they have kind of a new plan in place, and hopefully for those drivers that maybe don't get rehired, when things improve and they start, if it's a, matter of 3, 4, 5 months or something, maybe they'll offer those positions back to those drivers. Ultimately, I think that's, that's what I would like to see, especially if you've got good employees. why wouldn't you want to have them back? So that being said, I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. I hope you're getting good rates out there, and things are going well. Again, don't forget to check out my recommended tools and services in the description below. Some really great companies out there. eCarrier Check, great place for sourcing carriers and finding shippers. And don't forget to check out their YouTube channel. Those guys over there are just phenomenal. They know their stuff, right? They have real working knowledge of the industry, just like Operify. So if you need factoring, either reach out to me. I'll throw my email up here, freightmasterresources@gmail.com, or just click the link in the description below. It'll take you to like a short form. Fill that out. Somebody will reach out to you and you can talk to them. Check out the reviews. They've got phenomenal reviews. I can't say enough about the team over at Operify. Really, really, really great company. If you need a DAT subscription, again, they've provided us with a 10% off link. So if you need that, and if there's something else that you need that I don't have listed, again, I don't like to, throw everything out there and just fill up the description with a bunch of stuff. But these are, companies that, I recommend and use regularly. So that being said, I hope everybody's having a great day. And if you have anything you'd like to share, any other industry news, video, messages, anything, again, freightmasterresources@gmail.com. I love to hear from you. So have a great day. And as always, be kind to one another. Bye-bye now.